Selbo for the best run down Conrod Straight.
Teamed up with his teammate all year in the last couple of years, Russell Ingall. They won in 1995. They're trying to repeat that. They're in good form at the moment. They picked up second at the Sandown 500 and are really looking to go well here. Dunlop in-car camera through Caltech's chase. Have a look at this.
Well, he's about half a second faster than John Faulkner to Forrest Selbo, but he's still a lot slower than Greg Murphy was in the Holden Racing Team car. So Murphy, currently the fastest man across the top of the mountain.
Down into Murray's. You ride with Larry Perkins. This is the top 10 shootout, and 2:11.02 is the time to beat. Out of Murray's corner, up towards the checkered flag. Perkins goes across the line, and he posts the second quickest time, a 2:11.08. 2:11.08 for Larry Perkins. Not quite as good as Murphy, but second's not too bad.
It'll be a smooth lap and a good lap for you.
Yeah, it's the quickest lap I've ever gone around here, and it's the best I could do on the day, and I made no cock-ups. I just, I fear it's not going to be fast enough for pole, but I'm very happy with me one lap.
Bit of history here. Fifth car on the track, 52-year-old Dick Johnson from Queensland, the only man in this field who has run in every one of these top 10 shootouts since 1978, and there's no way John Bowers going to get him out of that seat. Very enjoyable moment for Dick Johnson, 3 times Bathurst winner. And every time he comes to this place, some people say he might be demotivated during the Shell Series, but every time he even gets a sniff of this mountain, the guy absolutely comes alive. At 2:11.02, Dick Johnson on maximum attack.
Well, Bow posted the quickest time in this car yesterday at 2:11.38. That was the 5th quickest time. The Shell Helix in-car Camry. We ride with Dick now up through Repco corner. The climb begins. Drifts out, just touches the ripple strip there, heading up towards GIO cutting. He's feeling very positive. Drivers had a top 10 shootout meeting earlier today. Dick was very jovial, very positive, very optimistic.
They've done a lot of work on this car. This year they brought in the expert engineer Murray Bunn from New Zealand. He's really given a lot of input on the car. The mid-corner understeer problem they suffered with the car during the series. They've done some major re-engineering on it for the Sandown 500. And a lot of development work going on back there in Queensland. Alan Draper, Warren Robb working away there, trying to find maximum horsepower from these Ford V8s. And the Shell team, as always, very confident of a strong result here. Their winning record and their success record at Mount Panorama is unbelievably good.
Well, you talk to Dick or John and they say, yeah, we're getting there. We've always said that this car that we're developing now, that we started the development for Sandown, it's an evolution type car. We're just going to take it one step at a time. Working with Murray Bunn, we'll eventually get there, and they're a lot happier with it now than what they were at Sandown. They're quite patient and prepared to take it one step at a time.
Well, Johnson was 0.02 of a second faster than Perkins to the split of Forrest Selbo. Trying to call a bit of speed down Conrod Straight. You can hear the car right on the rev limiter there as he stretched it out in 6th gear coming into the chase. Got the gearing just about perfect on the Shell 17 Ford. Dick Johnson bringing it back toward pit straight. One last important corner. You hear that on the rev limiter again. Just stretching it right to the end of its gear range. Back onto pit straight. A little bit sideways. He uses the curve to catch the car. Takes the checkered flag, and Johnson, 4th quickest in the order now, at 2:11.33.
The time wasn't what I expected it should have been, but it's exactly the same time as what I did earlier this morning in the warm-up. So, and like that's to the 100th. So at least I'm consistently bad or something.
The Coke Commodore of Wayne Gardner, and isn't he happy to be there? Our 1987 World 500cc motorcycle champ is really pumped up and really ready to give this one everything that he's got. He posted the 4th quickest time yesterday. There's the time that still stands to beat, 2:11.02, set by Greg Murphy. Perkins has got the closest to that by 0.06 of a second. 2:11.08 was Larry's time. Let's see what Gardner can do.
Yeah, Gardner's really pleased because both he and Longhurst are on the new Yokohama tyres, and they have really come on strong. You know, it's at one stage of the game you could say that the Bridgestones were the best and the Dunlops were the next and the Yokohamas after, but now really truthfully they're all much of a muchness, which is great for the sport.
38-year-old Wayne Gardner, originally from Wollongong. He shares his time between his residence in Sydney and of course over there in Monaco in Europe, and he really loves getting behind the wheel of this V8 Commodore. All the work going on in the off-season. Rob Benson's engine development, Wally Story working very hard on the chassis, and this car was particularly quick up here at the Primus 1000 Media Day. Look at the size of that crowd. cheering him on as Gardner brings it across the top of the hill, drops it down into McPhillamy Park. Nice tidy lap so far from the 1987 World 500cc champ.
Once again teamed up with his old teammate Neil Crompton, who's returned from the USA, where he had a really successful year in the North American Touring Car Championship, ended up finishing third and won more races than anybody else. Gardner looked like he got a little bit loose down through the section there. He comes down, trying to keep it nice and tight, out of Forest Elbow. Onto Conrod.
Yeah, well, that run across the top, he's the slowest car across the top so far, a 1:27.29 on the split at Forest Elbow. So it's looked very tidy, but just not quite as quick as the other guys who run before him. But Gardner knows this is a 1,000 kilometre race. You don't win the race by just winning the top 10 shootout. And this team very much focused on 1,000 kilometres of racing tomorrow.
Well, if he repeats his time that he did yesterday at 2:11.33, that'll get him around the 4th spot with Dick Johnson. In fact, he only just edged Dick out by 0.05 of a second. Gardner's coming on down to the final section. Murray's Corner, then up to the checkered flag. We'll see how he goes. 2:11. Oh, he gets out of shape. Gardner hits the wall. Still manages to bring it across the line.
It's Wayne's girlfriend there. She's obviously
he's taken
upset as he is.
He's taken a 2:12.82. That puts him to 7th in the order and last at this stage.
Well, let's have a look at the replay, the Shell Helix replay. Wayne Gardner coming into Murray's Corner. Front left just off the back. The back gets loose. He hits the ripple strip. Up and over he goes and slam right into the wall. You can see the impact there, a big impact. Rocked him off, but he was able to keep it going and come across with a 2:12.89.
It's a skin wound or a flesh wound, but it's okay. The car's all right. It's just disappointing that, you know, I go from 4th back to about 10th place now. So, but that's motor racing.
Well, there it is, the top 7 so far. Murphy still leads the way. We'll be back after this to see if he can hang on.
Next guy out on the track, only 3 to come. Glenn Seaton, Mark Scape and Jason Bargwanna. So it's crunch time for Glenn Seaton. Had a quiet build-up to this year's Primus 1000. Just concentrating on getting reliability out of this car. Seaton's always been very quick here with cars under his own preparation, but the reliability factor's been lacking. He really wants to address that in 1997.
Well, if he can put the Ford Credit Falcon on pole, he'll be heading for his 3rd pole position here at Bathurst. Put it on pole in spectacular fashion last year and was just so excited that he did it. Teaming up with David Parsons of Tasmania once again, who he has incredible faith in and respect as a driver.
3rd fastest in official qualifying yesterday, the 2:11.21. This car certainly has 2-minute 10-second potential. He did a 2:10 dead last year, and he brings it through Castrol Curve. XR Falcon onboard camera. You're riding with Glenn Seaton, the 1997 Shell Australian Touring Car Champion, as he threads the needle through these concrete walls across the top of the hill. Beautiful clean lap so far.
In actual fact, yesterday after he qualified, he said this thing is definitely into the 210s. We'll get see if he was right or not.
Now, Glenn Seaton's gone a different way to Alan Jones in terms of the Bridgestone tyres. Seaton preferring to go for a set that he's already run this morning. Put a few laps on, so the eroded tyres. See if he can get some more speed out of the car. A 1:26.08 at the split, so he's faster than Wayne Gardner, but still slower than Greg Murphy at that same point.
Well, we've seen that the Ford Credit Falcon has plenty of top-end speed. At Sandown, he just blitzed everyone by something like 9 kilometres per hour down the main straight. Perhaps that could be his secret weapon as he comes down through the Caltex chase. Glenn Seaton trying to better Greg Murphy's time of 2:11.02. He's only got to hang in there. If he betters Murphy's time, there's only Scaife and Bargwanna to come. But keep in mind, they were the quickest 2 guys yesterday.
I was going to say, what do you mean, only?
So Glenn Seaton now points it through Murray's Corner. Nice clean exit. Maximum acceleration. Takes the check flag and he's got provisional pole. He jumps to the top of the order. Hear the crowd in appreciation at 2:10.81, the first man into the 10-second bracket.
I was pretty happy with the lap. I'm very happy to do the time we're done. But tomorrow is my focus. I just want to get this one under my belt and hopefully we'll be in a good position at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
The second last car to come out onto the circuit, Mark Scape in the 05 Mobile HRT Commodore. In the earlier warm-up session before the top 10 shootout, Scape posted the quickest time for a touring car ever around Bathurst, a 2:09.89. Now there's Glenn Seaton's time of a 2:10.81. If Scape can repeat that, he'll blow it to the weeds.
And if I was a betting man, you'd have to. If I was a betting man, I hasten to add, I would have to stick my money on Scafey because he is going so good now that he's got this drive alongside Brocky. And I bet Fred Gibson's saying, "I told you so."
Let's watch Scafey at work on the windscreens. O'Brien onboard camera. He really is missed 110%. This guy. You should have seen him in the driver's briefing before the top 10 shootout. He's sitting there fidgeting and bouncing his knee up and down. He couldn't sit still. He's like a wound-up spring. This guy. He's just so hungry for success at Mount Panorama. And he's got the best tool to do it in.
Oh, you see how much ground, how much road he used there more than anybody by 2-3 feet.
Scafe's gone out on a brand new set of tyres, an unscrubbed set. He feels that that's going to give him that new tyre gain that he's looking for. He used a new set to do that 2-minute 9-second time in the warm-up this morning. So he'll be looking for even more speed. He's just hoping he's scrubbed enough temperature into the front tyres. That was his main consideration, that he had enough grip at the front.
Listen to the crowd.
Good at the moment.
The crowd just cheering Mark. They're so happy to see the 05 Mobile HRT Commodore out there. Scaife trying as hard as he possibly can to try and repeat that warm-up time of a 2:09.89. His time yesterday was a 2:10.99. Did that with only 2 laps out on the track. So let's see what Mark can do as he brings it out of Forest Elbow and on the Conrod Straight.
Well, he's the fastest man on the split too. He's just undercut Greg Murphy by 0.2 of a second at the split. 1:25.7, so he's really hauling the mail. Scaife could be on pole position.
Keep that time in your mind. 2:10.81. Glenn Seton in the Ford Credit Falcon set that time. Scaife is really on a hot run here through Caltex Chase.
Well, looks like his gamble on tyres is paying off. The car looking like it's working perfectly. No lock brakes. Very, very tiny lap. He's using all the road. That's the time he's got to beat. A 2:10.81 from Glenn Seton in the Ford Credit Falcon. Breaking hard for Murray's corner. Mark Scaife under pressure, giving it all. Brings it on the pit straight for the final time. Right up on the rebel strips.
Scaife on the pole.
A 2:10.03. He's undercut Seton by 0.8 of a second.
Wow, that's a major amount.
Mark Scaife, the cheers of the crowd say it all. Well done.
Thank you very much, John. That's not quite as good a lap as I did earlier when I did a 9.9, but not far away.
Last man on the track because he was the fastest man yesterday. Jason Bargwanna gets to take advantage of the track that's been swept clean by the other competitors. We're on board with 25-year-old Jason Bargwanna as he heads out on his hot lap.
Massive amount of pressure on this kid, you know, really, when you think about it. It was quickest yesterday, and the psychological pressure on him now, you know, it's, well, we'll see, you know, we'll see how he responds to it. Just to get a look of how much road he uses in the first sort of half a lap, and it'll tell its own story.
Well, everybody was saying yesterday, everybody who doesn't know this guy, who is Jason Bargwanna, who was spread across the news, television and radio services, are on board with a Holden in-car camera. Jason Bargwanna comes from an open wheeler background. He finished second in the Australian Drivers' Championship for Formula Holdens this year, and this is only his second race in a V8 supercar. He picked up a top 10 finish at the Sandown 500. And sideways out of the GAO cutting. Bargwanna's really pushing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that told the story.
Jason Bargwanna is giving it absolutely everything. He's really pumped up. Big crowd there, giving him a big cheer. The young 25-year-old from Como in New South Wales, been working intensively with the Holden Racing Team's Young Lions program. They really put these young blokes through the ringer to make sure they're mentally and physically fit for the demands of 1,000 kilometres around this place. Jason Bargwanna, never any doubt about his speed. Qualified third fastest in the Tickford 500. That really stood everyone on their ear. And now he's going after the same result here at Mount Panorama. Here he comes, down toward Forest Elbow.
Well, he's had a few hairy moments, young Jason. He brings it through Forest Elbow. Let's hope he gets a clean run out of here and a good run down Conrod. A little bit out of shape there. The pressure's on. 2:10.03, the time set by Mark Scaife.
Well, he's a bit slower than Scafey to that point, about half a second, 0.6 of a second slower than 0.5 to the Forest Elbow. But it's still a very quick time. He could still end up in one of those front 2 rows if he does it right. Across the white line, 290 k's, hard under brakes. Look at the car squirm as he tries to bring it down. Controllable speed to bring it through Caltex Chase. Final time under the Dunlop Bridge down toward Murray's corner. What can Jason Bargwanna do?
Well, can he spring a surprise like yesterday? And everyone was just, wow, he's gone straight to the top of the time. We'll see what he does. Out of the last corner, heading towards the checkered flag. What's Bargwanna got? No, only 5th fastest time, a 2:11.08. So Bargwanna, quickest yesterday, 5th fastest in the top 10. Mark Scaife picks up his 2nd Bathurst pole.
Listen, Bargwanna, your first Bathurst top 10, how did it feel?
Oh, that was just fantastic. I mean, I didn't actually get a clear lap, a perfect lap, I should say, but look, I'm just so happy to be in the top 10. I'm so happy to be at the pointy end of the field too.
Well, let's check the final placings there on your Holden race score. The Brock Scape car on pole position for tomorrow's Primus 1000. Seton Parsons will start from 2 on the front row. Murphy Lowndes, Perkins and Ingle, Bargwanna and Noski sit there in 5th position. 6 back through 10, the Jones Pruitt car. Johnson and Bow, Faulkner and Percy, Steve Johnson and Craig Baird, and Wayne Gardner and Neil Crompton round out the top 10. More on Network 10 Sport right after this break.
Mark Scape's back, and he's back big time, putting 05 on pole position for the Primus 1000 Classic. Well done, Scapey. Fantastic job. Here to make the presentation of the $15,000 first prize is Managing Director of IMG, Martin Jolly.
Congratulations, Mark. On behalf of everyone at IMG and from Primus, our naming rights sponsor, the hard part of the weekend is over for you, I think you were just saying. Congratulations. Please accept the cheque for $15,000, and we hope this is a sign of good things to come for you for the weekend. Well done.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you very much.
There you go.
I'm sure the boys will spend this very wisely.
I'm sure you will too, Scapey. Fantastic job. That car looked terrific in that run.
Look, it was really good, Mark. I mean, to do it on new tyres, you know, in that sort of form of running, it's very, very hard, the top 10, and obviously the car was very good. Doesn't mean much. I mean, to start on the front row of a 1,000-kilometre race doesn't mean much, but it's certainly great to be there in Peter's last event.
That's a very good point. It's a fast qualifying lap's one thing. 1,000 kilometres around here, a completely different story. How's the 05 car looking?
Look, it's very good. We made some changes last night. We've gone faster today, so I think as a race setup, it should be fantastic. And Peter and I will run it this afternoon and see what happens.
Well done and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
He spent the